Hi, I'm Fred.
And I'm Sarah, aka the Paris Quiz Mistress.
We're two friends addicted to trivia, and we're
rewatching
Alias.
But this is not an Alias podcast. Every episode, we play general knowledge trivia on a theme.
5 quiz questions for you to play along.
And the iconic early 2000s spy thriller show starring Jennifer Garner
Doesn't really matter.
Because this is
not an Alias podcast.
This is the Paris Quiz Mistress. I am here to explain the new format of this show, and I am joined by Freddie Engo.
Hello, everybody. I'm Freddie Engo.
Yeah, you are. So if you don't know Fred, you can go back and listen to Fred in Paris on this very feed and get to know him a little bit better. But you're going to get to know him extremely well because we are co-hosting this iteration of the Paris Quiz Mistress podcast, which is called
Not an Alias Podcast.
It is absolutely not an Alias podcast because I really wanted an Alias podcast. And then I kind of thought I wanted to be the Alias podcast that I wanted to see in the world. Alias, by the way, the iconic spy fiction thriller show starring Jennifer Garner.
Yeah, 2001 to 2006, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
J.J. Abrams wrote it, created it.
Yeah.
An influential figure of 2000s mystery, for sure.
And then I realized I don't really know anything about TV.
Apart from, like, enjoying Alias a lot.
Yeah, right. So I said, you know what I do like? And you know what podcast I can't seem to update as often as I would like to. So yeah, this is a straight up trivia podcast. Yeah. Alias is the gimmick that we are using to inspire some question writing that really doesn't have anything to do with the show. Every episode will be on a different theme that is ever so tangentially related to each Alias episode that we will be rewatching in my case.
Yeah. Watching for the first time. I mean, you came to me and said, do you like trivia? I was like, yeah, you know that. And also, did you watch Alias? I was like, no, I don't really know anything. Do you want to watch it? I'm like, yeah. Do you want to write questions about it? But not really. I was like, that all sounds really good. So I'm in.
Cool.
And the themes are really, I mean, we'll just pick as random as possible of an element from the show, and then we will, whip up a quiz out of that.
Yeah. So absolutely no knowledge or interest necessary that have to do with the TV show Alias.
Yeah.
And I just am having a really great time rewatching it because it was my favorite show. I think it was like the first series that I watched. I was 11 when it came out and I was hooked. Like it was every Sunday night, like you do not talk to me. Alias is on.
Wow. It was your sacred hour of television.
Yeah.
And everybody knew.
Yeah. And if for some reason I was unavailable, I had to set the VCR to record.
Had to pre-TiVo.
Yeah.
Just like VOD and all the things and DVR. You put your old VHS in there.
Old VHS.
Wow. Do you still have them?
Well, no, because once I watched them, then we had to use them for something else. But I do still have the DVD box sets.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah,
nice. The complete series, Alias.
Yeah, I just thought it was so fun, and kind of looking back at it now and where it sits in television history, it was actually kind of the beginning of prestige television, golden age of television.
I definitely, as someone who's discovering it, it's really enjoyable. I don't know, it's really not necessarily the kind of TV I ever really watched. Even when I was younger, spy TV and everything like that, it wasn't necessarily my thing a lot, but I'm really enjoying this, traveling back in time to the TV from 2001 and just seeing what they were doing. And it's surprisingly good, I have to say. I'm really enjoying it. And Jennifer Garner, It's interesting because when I was younger, I knew Jennifer Garner maybe only because of like Elektra or something like that, and I didn't know who she was. And now I'm like, I get it. I get
Yeah.
it.
I mean, peak Jennifer Garner, and like me as a tween, I was like, I went to see everything she was cast in because
Yeah.
I was so obsessed with this show.
Makes sense.
And I was disappointed by literally everything except Juno. She was good in Juno. It was a supporting role.
I only watched Juno once. I would have to rewatch that.
She played the mom that adopted the Juno's kid.
Okay.
So yeah, no, and honestly, it's not even just a nostalgia rewatch. It's like genuinely, it holds up. It's tight. It's exciting. It's not speaking down to the audience. I feel like in a way that a lot of shows at the time did, because obviously there's more exposition than you would find now because binging wasn't a thing at the time. So it had been a week,
but it is generally exciting, as you say, like to rewatch it and to be like it hooks you up, and the cliffhangers work. So I'm looking forward to like watching a bunch of it. Also, this is not an Alias podcast, by the way.
This is not an Alias podcast. So if you want an Alias podcast, I discovered Authorized Podcast Only, which is actual cultural commentators that are quite adept at kind of situating the cultural context and everything. If you want a TV podcast, Authorized Podcast Only. If you want a trivia podcast, not an Alias podcast, we are here for you.
Trivia nerds, assemble.
Great. We will see you for episode 1.
Episode 1.
All right. Here is a sneak peek of some of the shenanigans to come on Not an Alias Podcast. I wrote you a quiz about chain restaurants.
Oh, yeah. If he F's me good, I'll take his ASS
Where?
to Red Lobster.
Yes, correct.
And finally, the native city of William Shakespeare.
No star.
Because it is
Stratford-upon-Avon.
Hey, there you go. That was Stardust Star.
That was great.
And this is your quiz about stars. Is it in the big US of A? Or is it a shape? Is it a pentagon?
It is the Pentagon.
Hey. Nice.
Nice.
Want me to do an impression?
Sure.
Order!
Some sort of British judge. That's not trivia, Fred.
What? Who said that? Enough about Alias.
Quite enough.
Exactly, because we're here for trivia.
Thanks for listening to Not an Alias Podcast, produced by Celia Brondeau with original music by Mad98.
If you love what we do, leave us a tip. The link to the tip jar is in the description.
And you can follow all things trivia at Paris Quiz Mistress.
And all things Fred at Fred Me Up.
Until next time.
Stay nerdy and keep quizzing.